Hi Yogis, Tony here. Today's yoga sequence is designed with the idea in mind that we'll be working towards the wheel pose or Urdhva Dhanurasana, and therefore we'll do many exercises to warm up the body, open up the shoulders, which will allow us to come easily into the pose, into wheel pose. I hope you enjoy it. Take a moment to arrive on the mat. You can ease down, let sit in Vajrasana and start with warming up the shoulders. Place your fingers onto the shoulders and start circling the shoulders up and down. The elbows are drawing big circles around you. Well done. Now change the direction. We're going backwards and then inwards. Be mindful to perform everything we do thoughtfully and slowly. Now take a strap or a band, or maybe just a tie, anything you have at home, and let's start drawing circles with straight arms. Be careful not to lock in the elbows here. Exhale backwards. Inhale inwards to the front. The length of the band, or where you place the hands, where you grab the band, is determined by you. If you find at any point that you have to loosen up a bit, please do so. And as you make the circles, if you notice there is a sticky point, stay there. And this is the point where you have to pay a bit more attention and stay a bit longer. Very well, everyone. You're doing great. And release. Maybe now you can grab the band a bit closer and see how you feel. Again, inhale upwards and backwards. Be careful and mindful. Exhale to the front. Inhale back. Exhale to the front. The shoulders are an essential part of the wheel pose, and it's super important to really work on the sticky areas and loosen up the muscles. This is also a problem area for many of us as we spend the day sitting in front of a computer. Now place the band away and let us start the class by warming up with Surya Namaskars. Inhale upwards, exhale Uttanasana. Inhale right leg back, followed by the left one, downward facing dog. Stay here for one breath. Inhale plank, exhale 3 points onto the mat. Inhale upward facing dog, exhale downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your right leg and place it at the top. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look up. Exhale, left leg back, followed by the right one. Downward facing dog. Press the hands into the mat. Inhale, come into plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the mat. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your left leg and place it at the top of the mat between your hands. Look up. Exhale, right leg forward, forward fold. Inhale, hands together, come up. Exhale, hands in front of the chest in Namaste. Inhale, arms up. You can bend here, backwards. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right leg back. Exhale, followed by the left leg. Downward facing dog. Inhale, roll to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your right leg and place it between your hands at the top of the mat. Exhale, left leg follows. Forward fold. Inhale, left leg back, followed by the right one, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll into plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your left leg and strong core. Place the left leg between your hands. Exhale, right leg follows. Forward bend. Inhale, Urdhva Dhanurasana. Back bend. Exhale, hands in front of the chest in Namaste. One more time to really warm up the body. Inhale, look up. Back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right leg back, followed by the left one, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll to chaturanga, dandasana. Inhale, look up, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your right leg and place it in front of the chest. Place it between the hands, followed by the left one. Forward fold. Now look up, left leg back, followed by the right one. Downward facing dog. Inhale, chaturanga dandasana. Forward, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your left leg and place it between your hands. Exhale, right leg follows, forward fold. Inhale, join hands together, forward, backwards, bend. And exhale, hands in front of the chest in Namaste. Inhale, chair pose. Hands together. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look up, half forward fold. Exhale, right leg back, forward by the left one. Downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your right leg and place it at the outside of your left leg. Fallen triangle. Now inhale and come down with your hips. Exhale, open up. Now work here to really open up the body. You can also stay in side angle if the fallen triangle is too advanced for you. Now plank, chaturanga dandasana, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We shall repeat on the right side. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, raise your left leg and place it at the outside of your right foot. Inhale, open up in triangle, in falling triangle. Exhale, bring your hips down to the mat. Inhale, look up, open up the chest, legs strong. Exhale, hips to the mat. Inhale, open up, see if your fingers can touch the floor, and slowly come back into downward facing dog. Well done everyone. Roll up to plank, chaturanga, dandasana. Inhale, look up, upward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now once again, inhale, upward facing dog. No chaturanga this time. And roll up or tuck your toes. Now this is some more advanced, a floating upward facing dog. If you feel any pressure in the lower back, just be careful. Exhale, come back into downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your right leg and place it at the front of the mat. Left leg to 45 degrees. Inhale, warrior one. Open your arms into warrior two. Exhale. Now join your palms together, interlace fingers and open up the chest and bring your body forward. Your knees at the top of your ankle and you're striving for the head to touch the floor. Stay here for one more full breath. Inhale, look up and slowly come up. Open up and windmill your hands back into downward facing dog. Roll up forward to plank, chaturanga, dandasana, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your left arm, warrior one on the left side. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, open in warrior two, Virabhadrasana two. Inhale and cross your fingers behind the back. Exhale, forward fold. Strong legs. An amazing hip opener, but also shoulder opener. Concentrate on the breath. Inhale, look up and come up. Release the hands. Windmill the hands back in downward facing dog, then plank, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Well done everyone. Inhale, roll forward onto the belly. And let's just take a moment to shortly relax. Now straighten up the arms in front of you. Inhale, come up with hands and legs. Strong core. This is a wonderful exercise for lower back pain and for strengthening the lower back. Exhale, place your forehead onto the mat. Now boat pose. Let's come into Sphinx first. Push your chest forward and your elbows are pulling towards the body. Now bend both your knees and see if you can grab the ankles. Inhale, legs strong, push elbows and thighs are pushing onto the mat. You really want to open up the body, the shoulders and the chest here. Exhale, slowly release. If you have difficulties reaching your ankles here, you can always use a strap or a band, or do the bolt only on the one side. Have a look at my other videos. Inhale, high cobra. If you have any low back pressure, you can have your knees and the feet wider apart. It will be much easier for you to really open up and loosen up the lower back. Roll down the shoulders and exhale, slowly come back. Now really open the arms into spider arms, the elbows on top of the wrists, and slowly wind up like a wave into push the chest open. Exhale, slowly vertebrae by vertebrae roll down up. Place the hands just underneath the shoulders and inhale, come up. Your feet can be as wide open as the mat, and we shall only attempt or visualize here to bring the feet to the head. As you can see, this is also a pose that I'm working on. It takes a lot of flexibility of the lower back, so be careful here. Roll your hips to one side and the other side, release. And let's again come up one more time. Push the hips forward. Well done, and see if you can bend the knees. And for many of us, it will be enough to really working on bending the knees here first. Now your hands you can walk your hands further to the top of the mat and really, so you're not pushing, you're not cramping the spine. What you're trying to do is really push or create length in the spine. Only then we can really bend backwards safely. And exhale, slowly release your body onto the mat. And again, rock your hips backwards and forwards. Now your right hand is 90 degrees to your body, and place your left foot at the outside of the right foot. The left arm either points to the ceiling, or see if the arm can meet the other arm on the mat. If you want to go further, you can also bend both knees. That means also the knee of the right leg. Slowly release as you came to the position. Now straighten the legs and slowly supporting yourself with your left arm. Slowly release. Roll the shoulders and let's repeat on the other side. See if the hands can meet, otherwise you can the hand can be pointing towards the ceiling, or you can have a wider shoulder opening depending on on your flexibility really. Well done everyone. Release the right leg. I find that releasing that leg is just have the asana with straight legs is quite different. Now let's come back onto the back, and now it's not essential that you have a strap. The strap should be as wide as your hips or slightly tighter, and so slightly tighter. But it is quite useful, especially if you are a beginner, because in the wheel pose we tend to let the knees and the hips fall back. Now bend your knees and see if you can touch the sole of the feet with your fingers. Roll the shoulders upwards and see if you can bring the arms underneath the body. Let's stay here for a few moments. The hands can either rest onto the body. I prefer to interlace the fingers. And exhale, slowly release. Take a breather here. Now the feet should be parallel to each other, and let's come one more time with now let's come in half bridge pose. Or in the bridge pose, place your hands underneath the shoulders and breathe in. Place the top of the head onto the mat. As you exhale, push the body up. Now the strap is probably holding your legs as it should be, and it's probably much easier for you to also hold the feet parallel to each other. Now you can bring the sole of the feet up in the air and slowly walk the feet towards the head, just a millimeter by millimeter. It's really very exact work, and you're going to do this only if you feel comfortable. Otherwise, stay where you are. But it's really important that you stay at least 3 breaths in each pose, so that the body really adjusts. And also the rule, at least rule for me, or how I learned it, is no one should attempt a pose, or you shouldn't go into a pose which you cannot hold longer for 3, as long as at least 3 breaths. Only then we know that we're not going to hurt yourself, or you're not going to be able to hold a posture which is actually painful, or you shouldn't be. So only go as safe, or as far as it is safe for you. Really, really important. Now let's attempt the pose one more time. Check that the feet are parallel to each other and only as wide as the hips. Now push up from bridge pose onto the arms, onto your head, apologies. And now that you're all warmer, see if you can walk your feet and the hands towards each other. The wheel pose requires a lot, really a lot from the body. And I've seen people attempting it at the beginning of classes or when they're not ready. And it's imperative that we listen to the body and we are super prepared. Now what you can do here is you can walk your feet to the top of the mat, the opposite that we just did, and you'll be able to open up the shoulders much more. Now come down, open your arms in a cactus position and let your hips fold to the outside and the soles of the feet are coming together. Take a moment to breathe here and relax, and just notice what just happened. There's a lot of energy work happening here in the wheel pose. For me, at least, one of the most powerful poses and more challenging poses. Now, because let's activate the core muscles here, it's super important that we really strengthen the lower back and the core muscles here. Tap your toes onto the mat. Let's come into candle position. Make sure that your body weight is resting onto the shoulders and not onto the neck. And you're supporting, especially if you're a beginner, you're supporting the body, the weight of the body with your hands. And in order to have a stable position, you have to keep your elbows pressing or parallel to each other, the upper arms parallel to each other. Please never ever attempt to actually look around while doing this position. Now we shall also go into the plow pose, but please do not look at what I'm doing, just stop the computer and have a look first. You should not attempt to look at what we're doing next. Just either follow my instructions or stop the video. It's imperative that you keep your neck onto the mat. Plow. Your hands can either support you at the back or can be placed interlaced at the mat, or can be resting, the palms can be resting onto the mat. And if you can now bring your knees, or you hook your head with your knees and attempt to bring the knees onto the mat. Let's stay here for 2 more breaths, or maybe a bit longer. Now straighten up your legs and place, if you haven't done so, place your hands onto the mat and slowly roll the spine down onto the mat. Legs are straight and the whole body rests. Untitled, the fish pose. Feet together. Place your hands close to your ears and push up, bring the top of the head onto the mat. Now push with your elbows onto the mat, and your hands are, I'll show you one more way to go into the position. That is, if you have the Lotus Pose, go into Lotus Pose and then do the fish pose. Your hands each hand is grabbing the toes of the feet and really push with the elbows into the mat to open up the chest. Breathe slowly and mindfully. The fish pose offers amazing benefits, and especially for the heart and throat chakra. Attempt to stay here at least 3 to 4 breaths. Slowly release the legs if you are in half lotus pose, and let's go into Shavasana. There is nothing more for you to do. Let the body rest, let the arms rest heavily onto the floor, into a 45-degree position to your body, and open the legs as well, wide. Let your feet fall to the outside. We did a lot of physical and energy work today. The backbends are very challenging for most of us, and even if they're not challenging, we're still doing lots of work. Opening the heart and the heart chakra is quite challenging for most of us. Opening to what is, opening to love, to everything around us. Love not only to relatives, to those who we consider dear, but towards everything. Yoga means union, and yoga is the realization that we're just part of everything around us. Now slowly come back to neutral position, to cross-legged position. Thank you ever so much for allowing me to take you through this class. See you very soon. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share.